Chosen one, wait, do not scroll past this. I know you almost did, but something stopped you, and I need you to understand something. That was not an accident. That was not your thumb hesitating. That was your soul. Your soul recognized something, something it has been searching for a very long time. You have been carrying something heavy lately, something you cannot fully explain, not even to the people closest to you. A feeling that everything is shifting, that you are changing at a level deeper than words, and everyone around you looks at you like you are fine. But you know something profound is happening inside you, something real, something sacred, and today, right now, in the next 30 minutes, you are finally going to understand what it is. Stay, because what I am about to tell you will change everything. Every confusing moment, every sleepless night, every tear that came without a reason, every relationship that quietly fell apart, every morning you woke up exhausted, even though you never left your bed. I am going to show you something today. None of it was random. None of it was a mistake. Every single thing you have been experiencing, every single one has been preparing you for something so extraordinary, so sacred, so divinely orchestrated that by the time this video ends, you will not just feel relieved, you will feel chosen, because you are. You did not find this video found you. The force that brought you here, call it God, call it the universe, call it the divine intelligence. That force has been quietly guiding every step of your life, and it brought you here today because you are ready for the truth about what is happening to you, ready for the next chapter of your existence, ready to step into a version of yourself that the old you could only dream of. This is the message your soul has been waiting for, and I believe with everything in me that God sent you here today for exactly this reason. What you are experiencing has a name, it has a direction, it has a destination, and in the next 30 minutes I am going to walk you through every sign, every symptom, every strange and sacred shift that tells the heavens themselves that you are in the middle of one of the most profound spiritual awakenings a human soul can undergo. You are ascending, you are upgrading, you are crossing the threshold into what ancient wisdom keepers called the fifth dimension. Stay with me, because by the time we reach the end of this message together, you will not just understand what is happening to you, you will feel it. You will feel it in your chest, you will feel it in your breath, and you will know with absolute certainty that you were always meant to be here, right now, in this moment. If this is already resonating with you, drop 444 in the comments below. Let the others who were called here today see you. You are not alone. Now let me begin by clearing something up, because there is so much confusion around this. The fifth dimension is not a place. It is not a galaxy far away. It is not a science fiction concept. The fifth dimension is a frequency. It is a state of being. It is a higher octave of consciousness, the same consciousness that lives and breathes inside of you right now. Awakening to its full divine potential. Think of it this way. You have lived most of your life tuned to one radio station. The music was familiar. The voices were recognizable. And even when the signal got noisy, even when the static got loud, you stayed on that station, because it was the only frequency you knew. But something happened. Something shifted. A switch was flipped. Somewhere deep in the sacred architecture of your soul. And suddenly you can hear another signal. A cleaner signal. A signal that hums at a frequency your mind cannot fully explain, but your heart instantly recognizes. That is the fifth dimension calling you home. The ancient mystics spoke of it. The Sufi poets wrote about it in between the lines of their verses. The desert fathers of early Christianity called it union with the divine. The Vedic sages of India described it as samadhi, the dissolution of the false self into the vast ocean of pure awareness. In every tradition, in every age, across every culture that has ever walked this earth, there has been this whisper, this sacred thread of a higher way of being that was always available, always waiting, always calling those whose hearts were ready. And now it is calling you. The shift from the third dimension, the ordinary, fear-based world most people inhabit, to the fifth dimension is not a comfortable process. I want to be honest with you about that, because I respect you too much to paint over the truth with easy words. This ascension, this upgrade, This sacred transformation is one of the most demanding things a human soul can go through. It will shake you. It will stretch you. It will ask you to release things you have held for decades, beliefs, identities, relationships, even versions of yourself that once felt essential to your survival. But here is what I also know. Here is what I know in the marrow of my bones. The very fact that you are going through it, the very fact that you were chosen for this level of transformation is the greatest honor the divine can bestow on a human life. Not everyone gets this invitation. Not everyone is ready, but you are. And the proof of your readiness is the very struggle you are inside of right now. Let us talk about your body first, because for so many of you this is where the confusion has been the loudest. You have been to the doctor, and the tests came back fine. You have changed your diet, tried to sleep more, pushed through the exhaustion, and still something does not feel right. Something feels different. Something feels like your physical form is going through a renovation, one you never requested, but somehow always needed. If you have been feeling waves of deep, heavy fatigue, not ordinary tiredness, but a bone-deep weariness that hits you even after a long sleep, I need you to hear this. That is not weakness. That is not sickness. That is your body processing an extraordinary amount of divine light, a higher vibrational frequency pouring into your cellular structure and rewiring you at the most fundamental level of your physical existence. Your body is working harder right now than it ever has, not to stay alive, to become more alive than it has ever been. Rest is not laziness during an ascension. Rest is sacred labor. Have you noticed tingling? A vibration in your hands, your feet, the top of your head, or across your skin for no apparent reason. Have you felt pressure in the center of your forehead right there between your eyes, as if something is opening that was sealed shut for a very long time? These are not medical symptoms. These are spiritual activations. Your third eye is coming online. The energy centers of your body, what Eastern wisdom traditions call chakras, are spinning into a higher alignment. The crown at the top of your head is opening like a flower that has finally received enough light to bloom, and every tingle, every pulse, every wave of warmth or sudden chill moving through your body is the universe saying, yes, it is happening. Stay the course. Some of you have noticed changes in what your body wants to eat. Foods that once felt comforting now feel heavy, dense, almost oppressive. You find yourself drawn to lighter things, fruits, vegetables, water, simplicity. Your body is intelligently communicating its needs during this upgrade. As your vibrational frequency rises, your physical vessel naturally begins to reject what lowers it. This is not a food trend. This is a divine recalibration. Trust what your body is asking for. It is wiser than any nutritional label could ever tell you. And for those of you experiencing heart flutters, those sudden, inexplicable moments where your heart seems to skip, to quicken, to expand almost painfully in your chest, please know this. Your heart chakra, the energetic center of love and compassion that sits at the core of your being, is undergoing one of the most profound openings of your lifetime. The divine is not just touching your mind during this ascension. It is touching your heart. It is widening it. It is preparing it to hold a capacity for love for yourself, for others, for this broken and beautiful world that your old self could not have contained. Here is something that may surprise you. The sensitivity you have been feeling, the heightened awareness, the way sounds seem sharper, the way you absorb other people's emotions like a sponge is not a vulnerability. It is a superpower. A superpower in the process of awakening your aura. The luminous field of energy that surrounds your physical body is expanding. It is growing larger, more luminous, more attuned to the invisible frequencies that most people move through the world completely unaware of. You may have found yourself walking into a room and immediately sensing the tension in it before anyone speaks a word. You may have touched someone's hand and felt something pass between you that you could not name. You may have been standing in nature, in a forest, by water, beneath an open sky, and felt something so vast and so sacred move through you that it brought tears to your eyes without warning. These are not random moments of emotionality. These are the first expressions of your light body awakening. You are becoming a receiver. You are becoming a transmitter. You are becoming a living, breathing antenna for divine consciousness on this earth. The ancient traditions of energy healing across cultures, across centuries all pointed to this same truth, that the human being is not just a physical creature, that inside the biology wrapped around, and through the bones and blood and breath there is a body of light. A subtle body, an energetic architecture that mirrors the physical one but operates at a frequency the ordinary eye cannot see. And right now that light body of yours is waking up. It is stretching. It is becoming aware of itself, and everything that feels strange and overwhelming and inexplicable in your daily experience is connected to this great and glorious awakening. If you feel this in your body right now, type 777 in the comments. Let heaven see your confirmation. Do not close this video. Not yet, because what I am about to share about your emotions, your relationships, and the extraordinary gifts beginning to emerge in you, this is the part that will make everything finally make sense. Stay. Your soul already knows it needs to hear what comes next. Have you been crying lately? Not just quiet tears, but deep, almost wordless waves of grief that come without warning, in the car, in the shower, in the silence between sleeping and waking. If this is you, I need you to understand something that the modern world has entirely missed. You are not breaking down. You are being wrung out like a cloth that has absorbed decades of held pain, suppressed fear, inherited trauma, and unprocessed loss. You are being wrung out so that you can be filled with something new, something pure, something the divine has been waiting for the perfect moment to pour into you. Tears during an ascension are not signs of weakness. They are signs of depth. They are the evidence of a soul brave enough to feel everything. It's stored away in the name of survival. Every time you allow yourself to weep without knowing why, every time you sit with the ache instead of running from it, you are completing a sacred circuit. You are releasing what no longer belongs to the version of you that is being born. You are not too emotional. You are becoming emotionally honest, perhaps for the first time in your life. And that is one of the holiest things a person can do. And then just as unexpectedly the grief gives way to something else. Moments of inexplicable joy. A rush of gratitude so sudden and so overwhelming it almost embarrasses you. A feeling of expansiveness, of warmth, of being held by something so much larger than the circumstances of your daily life. You may have dismissed these moments as fleeting, as accidental, as too good to trust. But they are not accidents. They are previews. They are the universe offering you a taste, just a taste of the frequency you are moving into permanently. The joy you feel in those moments is not an illusion. It is the most real thing you have ever felt. It is the frequency of the fifth dimension, brushing against your consciousness and saying, this is what is waiting for you. This is what you are becoming. The emotional detox of ascension also brings something that can be deeply disorienting, a profound sense of grief for the life you are leaving behind, even if that life was painful, even if it was filled with limitation, with constriction, with suffering. There is something in us that mourns the familiar, even when the familiar was a prison. You may find yourself grieving relationships, identities, belief systems, versions of yourself that no longer fit the person you are becoming. This grief is real, and it is valid, and it deserves to be honored. But here is the truth that will carry you through it. Everything you are releasing was never the fullness of who you were. It was armor. It was a coping mechanism. It was a provisional self built for survival in a world that did not yet know how to receive the real you. And now the real you is emerging. And it is more luminous, more capable, more alive than the version that has been holding back for so long. What you are mourning is the shell. What is being born is the soul. Something is happening to the way you think. You may have noticed it. The old thought patterns, the catastrophizing, the constant worst-case running commentary, the deep and exhausting habit of fear, are starting to feel foreign. Not gone yet, but foreign. Like a language you used to speak fluently that is slowly being replaced by one that feels more native to who you actually are. This is the mental rewiring that accompanies every genuine spiritual ascension. The third-dimensional mind operates primarily from fear. Fear of loss, fear of lack, fear of death, of rejection, of not being enough. It is a survival mechanism that served its purpose, that kept the species alive for millennia. But it was never meant to be the dominant mode of a fully awakened consciousness. And as you ascend, as your frequency rises, as your soul comes more fully online, the fear-based operating system begins to become incompatible. with the new version of you that is running. You are not losing your mind. You are outgrowing the one you were given and growing the one you were meant for. The fifth dimensional mind thinks differently. It does not lead with fear. It leads with love, with trust, with an orientation toward possibility rather than threat. It knows not as a spiritual idea but as a lived, felt cellular knowledge that it is held, that it is supported, that there is a benevolent intelligence at work in its life, even in the moments that feel most chaotic, most dark. This is not naivety. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is the hard-won wisdom of a consciousness that has gone through the fire and discovered that the fire never consumed what was truly real. You may have begun to feel a strange relationship with time, moments that seem to stretch, a growing inability to worry about things that are weeks or months away, a new and sometimes unsettling focus on the present moment, on what is here, what is now, what is alive in this breath. This is not distraction or irresponsibility. This is the natural consequence of a consciousness that is beginning to inhabit the present as its primary home. The fifth dimension does not live in the past or the future. It lives in the eternal now, and you are learning slowly and sacredly to live there too. Has the universe been speaking to you in numbers? Have you looked at the clock at 11:11 so many times that it stopped feeling like coincidence? Have you seen 444 on a license plate, on a receipt, on a billboard at the exact moment you were thinking something important? Have you dreamed in symbols and woken up knowing, not thinking, knowing that the dream carried a message meant specifically for you? I want you to trust what you have been noticing, the language of synchronicity, the meaningful coincidences, the repeated numbers, the dreams that shimmer with significance, the moments of vu so vivid, so specific that they cannot be dismissed. This is one of the primary languages through which the divine communicates with a consciousness in the process of ascending. It is as if heaven, seeing that you are crossing the threshold, turns up the volume on the signals it has been broadcasting your entire life. Suddenly the frequency is clear enough for you to hear. Suddenly the signs are impossible to ignore. Angel numbers are not superstition. They are a form of divine punctuation, a way of marking the significant moments of your spiritual journey with sacred confirmation. When you see 111, the universe is saying, your thoughts are creating reality. Be intentional. When you see 333, it is saying, you are not alone. Guides, ancestors, the divine itself surrounds you in this moment. When you see 999, something is completing. A cycle is closing. A chapter is ending so that something far more magnificent can begin. The universe is not silent. It has never been silent. You are simply learning finally to hear. Pay attention to your dreams during this time. Your sleeping mind is not bound by the limitations your waking consciousness operates within. In dreams, the soul can travel beyond the usual constraints of time and space. Information can be received that the conscious mind is not yet ready to process directly. Guidance can be given in the symbolic language that the soul speaks fluently even when the waking self has forgotten it. Keep a journal by your bed. Write down what you dream, not to analyze it to death, but to honor it, to say to your subconscious and to the divine that communicates through it that you are listening, that you are paying attention, that you are open. Now I want to speak about something that has quietly broken the hearts of many people watching this, and I want to approach it with the tenderness it deserves, because this particular part of the ascension journey is one that very few people talk about honestly. It does not get spoken about because it is uncomfortable, because it touches something that most of us have been taught to never question. The relationships we have built our lives around. People are falling away. Relationships that once felt solid and certain and permanent are quietly dissolving. People you have known for years, perhaps for decades, suddenly feel distant, different, as if you are speaking different languages even when you are using the same words. Gatherings and social situations that once felt energizing now feel draining, hollow, almost unbearable. And there is a grief in this that is real and deep and deserves to be felt before it is explained. So I am not going to rush past the ache of it. I am going to sit here with you in it for just a moment, because losing a friendship, growing apart from family, feeling invisible in rooms that once felt like home, that is not a small thing. That is one of the loneliest experiences a human being can go through. And if that is where you are right now, I want you to know that your pain is not a sign that something has gone wrong. It is a sign that something is going right in you, even though it does not yet feel that way. Here is what I need you to understand. What feels like abandonment is actually alignment. What feels like loss is actually liberation. This does not mean that the people moving out of your life are bad people, or that you are somehow better than them. That is not what this is. Every soul is on its own sacred timeline. Every person is exactly where they need to be on their own journey. And sometimes two people who genuinely love each other simply find themselves on different paths, moving at different speeds, in different directions. There is no villain in that story. There is only the bittersweet reality of growth, and the grace required to honor both your own evolution and the dignity of theirs. As your vibration rises, as your consciousness expands, you naturally begin to resonate differently, and some relationships built on older versions of who you were simply cannot hold the new frequency you are carrying. This is not rejection. It is not failure. It is the natural consequence of becoming more fully yourself. The connections that are meant to endure will endure. They will be transformed. Yes, they will be asked to go deeper, to become more honest, to release the comfortable pretenses that kept them surface level and safe. But they will endure, and they will become more beautiful than they have ever been. And at the same time, watch for this, because it is one of the most breathtaking aspects of this entire process. New people are entering your life. Souls who seem to recognize you before you have spoken a word. Connections that feel ancient, that feel like coming home, that carry a quality of meeting, rather than mere encountering. These are your soul tribe, the fellow travelers on the ascending path who have been drawn to you by the new frequency you are broadcasting. Do not underestimate these connections. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. They are the divine rebuilding your relational world in alignment with who you are becoming, and the depth of belonging you will feel in these new connections will make you understand finally, fully, why the old ones had to make room. If you have watched this far, I need you to know something. The fact that this message has resonated, the fact that you are still here, that is not a small thing. Most people will never allow themselves to receive what you have just received. But the greatest part of this message is still ahead of you, because now I want to talk about the gifts that are awakening in you, the extraordinary abilities that have been dormant, waiting, as if behind a locked door, and are now, in this season of your life, beginning to stir. Do not leave. The best is unfolding right now. There is something being unlocked in you right now that will serve not only your own life, but the lives of everyone your path will touch from this point forward. These are not ordinary gifts. They are divine tools, placed within the architecture of your soul before you were born, waiting for the precise moment of your awakening to become fully operational. The first is intuition, and I am not talking about ordinary gut feelings that everyone experiences from time to time. I am talking about a deep, clear, almost effortless knowing that bypasses the analytical mind entirely and delivers truth directly to your awareness. You may have already begun to notice it. A sense before a phone call of who it will be. A feeling in the body about a decision that proves to be accurate before any logic supports it. A clear inner voice that speaks in complete sentences, with a quality of calmness and certainty that is utterly unlike the chaotic chatter of your ordinary thoughts. That voice is real. That knowing is real, and learning to trust it, learning to act on it, even when the logical mind protests, is one of the central practices of fifth-dimensional living. The second gift is empathy of a supernatural depth. Many of you have been empathic your entire lives. You have felt other people's pain as if it were your own, absorbed the emotional atmosphere of rooms and crowds, found yourself inexplicably moved by suffering that was not directly yours. During this ascension, that empathy is being refined, elevated into something more precise, more useful, more divinely directed. It is becoming the capacity to hold space for others in their darkness without being consumed by it. It is becoming the ability to offer presence, true, deep, unhurried presence as a form of healing. This is one of the rarest and most needed gifts on earth right now, and it lives in you. The third gift is what the mystics called prophetic sensitivity, the ability to perceive truth beyond the surface of things, to read beneath the words that people speak to the reality they are actually living, to sense the movement of larger forces at work in individual lives and collective events. This is not a parlor trick. It is a sacred responsibility, and it is awakening in you because the times we are living in require it. The world needs people who can see clearly, who can hold the longer view, who can perceive what is true beneath what is merely loudly proclaimed to be true. These gifts are not given to be hoarded or hidden. They are given to be used, to be offered, to be placed in service of something larger than your individual comfort or convenience. And as you step more fully into them, as you begin to practice trusting your knowing, offering your presence, speaking your truth with the loving directness of someone who has been refined by fire, you will find that the gifts themselves grow stronger. That the more you use them in alignment with love and service, the more powerfully they operate. Now I want to give you something practical, because as much as the ascension is a spiritual process, it is also a very physical one, and there are things you can do, simple, real, accessible things that will dramatically support what is happening in you and help it proceed with more grace and less resistance. Rest. Please rest. I cannot say this strongly enough. The world we live in glorifies exhaustion and treats rest as laziness. But during an ascension, sleep is not merely recovery. It is active processing. It is integration. It is the time during which the new codes being written into your spiritual and cellular body are solidified and anchored. When you feel the wave of deep fatigue that is characteristic of this process, do not fight it. Do not push through it with caffeine and willpower. Lie down. Close your eyes. Give your body the sacred gift of stillness and allow the work that is being done in you to be done without interference. Spend time in silence. In a world that is louder than any generation before us has ever had to navigate the constant input of screens, notifications, noise, and demands, silence is a form of revolution. And for someone in the middle of an ascension, it is a form of oxygen. Your inner voice, the divine guidance that is growing stronger in you, cannot be heard over the constant roar of distraction. Create spaces of genuine quiet in your day, even 10 minutes, even 5. Sit with yourself, breathe, and listen to what arises in the stillness that cannot arise anywhere else. Silence is not the absence of sound. Silence is the presence of God. Go into nature. This is not a metaphor, and it is not optional. It is medicine. The natural world operates at a frequency that is profoundly harmonious with the ascending soul. Trees, rivers, soil, stone, the open sky, these are not merely beautiful. They are coherent. They are aligned. And when you place your physical body in their presence, when you put your bare feet on the earth, when you breathe air that has not been filtered through a building, when you sit beside water and allow its movement to become a mirror for the movement happening inside you, your nervous system settles in ways that nothing else can achieve. Nature does not just calm the body, it recalibrates the soul. Practice breath work, and let me give you something concrete here, because I do not want to speak about breath work as an abstract idea. I want to leave you with something you can actually use today. Wherever you are right now, place one hand gently over your heart. Feel its rhythm beneath your palm. Now breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath gently at the top for a count of 4, and then release it through your mouth. Slowly, completely, for a count of 4. Do that 3 times. Just 3 rounds, and notice what happens in your body. Notice the settling. Notice the softening. Notice the way the noise in your mind quiets even slightly, even briefly. And in that quiet, notice that you are still here, that you are safe, that something ancient and wise in you is breathing right along with you, has always been breathing right along with you, and is not going anywhere. That simple practice done several times throughout your day is not just a relaxation technique. It is a method of communication. It is your way of saying to the divine intelligence within you, I am here. I am present. I am listening. And every time you do it, every time you choose that moment of conscious breath over the automatic pilot of distraction and anxiety, you are strengthening the bridge between your physical body and your spiritual body. You are making it easier for the light to move through you. You are cooperating with your own ascension, and be gentle with yourself through all of it. Please, be as gentle with yourself as you would be with someone you love who is going through the hardest and most holy passage of their life. Because that is exactly what you are doing. This is not easy. No one who has ever genuinely ascended has described it as easy. But everyone who has come through it, everyone who has had the courage to stay in it, to surrender to it, To trust the process even in the darkest and most disorienting moments has emerged on the other side with a quality of aliveness, a depth of peace, a capacity for love and purpose and joy that they would not trade for any amount of comfort or certainty they left behind. I want to close by speaking something over you, not as a formula, not as a platitude, but as a deep, true, earned declaration that comes from a place of genuine reverence for what I have witnessed in people who have walked this path. You were not born in this time by accident. Of all the souls in all the vast archives of human history, of all the people who could have been alive in this extraordinary, turbulent, pivotal moment in the story of our species, you are here. You, with your specific history, your specific wounds, your specific gifts, your specific capacity for depth and love and perception. You are here, in this body, in this life, walking through this ascension at precisely the moment when the world needs what you carry more than it has ever needed anything. The fifth dimension is not just a destination for individual souls. It is the direction that all of consciousness is moving in, the great evolutionary arc of the human family bending slowly and sometimes painfully but irrevocably toward love, toward wholeness, toward the recognition that we are not separate, not from each other, not from the natural world, not from the divine intelligence that breathes through all things. This is the new earth that the prophets of every tradition spoke of, not a physical paradise that will descend from the sky, but a way of being human that we choose, together, one awakening soul at a time. And you are one of those souls. You are one of the builders of that new earth. You are one of the lights that is turning on one by one in the great darkness of this transitional time, until there are enough of you lit that the darkness no longer knows what to do with itself. So when the fatigue comes, and it will come, remember that you are carrying light that has weight. When the tears come without warning, and they will remember that you are crying for more than yourself, you are weeping with the grief of a world in labor when the people fall away. And some will remember that your evolution does not require their permission, and that the sacred connections coming toward you will more than fill what was lost. When the synchronicities multiply and the signs become impossible to ignore, and they will pause, breathe, say thank you, not to luck, not to coincidence, but to the vast and loving intelligence that has never once taken its eyes off you, has never once forgotten your name, has been orchestrating the circumstances of your life with a precision and a tenderness that your human mind can only begin to fathom. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too broken, too ordinary, too far from the version of yourself you were supposed to be. You are exactly where your soul agreed to be. You are exactly who your soul agreed to become. And the process happening inside you right now, uncomfortable, disorienting, sometimes terrifying, always sacred, is the fulfillment of a promise that was made before you drew your first breath. Trust it, stay in it, let it complete you, because you were chosen, you were called, and you answered. Drop 555 in the comments right now if this message reached the deepest part of you today. Let every soul watching know they are not alone on this path. And before you go, if this message moved something in you, if it gave words to something you have been carrying silently for a long time, I want to ask you for one small thing. Hit that like button right now. Not for me. Do it as a declaration to the universe that you received this message, that you are awake to what is happening in you, that you are ready. Every time you press that button, you are saying yes. Yes to your ascension. Yes to your purpose. Yes to the version of yourself that is being born. And if you are not yet part of this community, subscribe right now and turn on the bell, so you never miss a message like this one, because this channel exists for one reason only: to find the souls who are ready to speak the truth they have been searching for, and to walk alongside them as they step into the most extraordinary chapter of their lives. That is why you are here. That is why this channel exists. And there is so much more coming for you. Share this video right now with someone you love who is in the middle of their own awakening and does not yet have the words for what they are feeling. You may not even know why you feel the urge to send it to a specific person right now. Trust that feeling. That is your intuition speaking. That is the gift already working through you. Send it, because the message that found you today may be the exact message that saves someone else tomorrow. You are ascending. The symptoms are signs. The struggle is sacred. The destination is more beautiful than anything you have yet been able to imagine, and you will get there. You were always going to get there. Heaven is watching, and heaven is proud of you. And if you've been feeling this shift in your life lately, like something is trying to align for you, there's a powerful 9-word wealth prayer I've left in the comments. Only check it if you feel called.